if Brian Garcia, Shakur Stevens, whoever comes with that, then hey, let's do it.
Wade Clem is currently training in boxing. I'm seeing yourself in phenomenal shape. Can we expect to see you guys face off in the ring?
Look at this.
God damn! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Misfits News. I'm your host, Ben the Bane Davis, as always, joined by my co-host, BL, and it's Fight Week. Let's go! Misfits into Zone X Series 13 goes down on March 23rd. We've got the latest updates and two special guests lined up for you, but before we dive into all of it, I gotta ask, BL, how are you?
I'm very well, Ben. How many cups of coffee have you had this morning?
I'm doing cocaine! No. Who knows, baby? Who knows?
Well, Ben, as you said, it's finally fight week. The moment has arrived, Misfits 13. But before we get into that action, let's go into today's agenda. Here's the lineup for you today. Conor McGregor has called out KSI once again, and Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal boxing match has been announced. And furthermore, Misfits 13 co-main event has finally been revealed.
Absolutely, BL. It's Misfits 13 Fight Week, and the anticipation is through the roof in Nashville. With such a stacked lineup in front of us, BL, what do you think that the fans can expect this weekend?
I think it's going to be fireworks, Ben. I tell you something, I'm really excited for it. I think Boxer G is going to put another fantastic performance on and dethrone Most Evil.
Oh, that is a bold prediction. I'm back in the Fox, baby. Apex Predator, he has got bombs in his palms, and Most Wanted's displayed a little lack of durability. I'm not sure what Evil Hero's durability is looking like right now, but it's just hard to imagine anybody 2v1, 3v1, 5v1 beating Fox the G right now. I will say I'm a little bit bummed. Two titles initially, Anthony Taylor versus Gabe Silva and Alexia Grace versus Nikki Rue. Only one of those is still occurring on the card, but man, that's sure to be a fun one. Alexia Grace knows how to spice up a fight week.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a fun fight week throughout. Obviously, last time in Nashville, it went off. And this week, can we expect Nate Diaz to make a return as well?
Hey, if Nate Diaz is in the building, make sure not Logan Paul is very far away from him. I don't need to see Rodney choked out again. We can talk about Misfits 13 all day long, but why don't we bring in one of the contestants of the interim lightweight tournament through to get us into this fight week? Ladies and gentlemen, Misfits and Zone X Series 13 Fight Week is upon us. We'd love to welcome in YuddyGangTV. Yuddy, how are you? It's Nashville time, baby.
Man, it's another beautiful day, man. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with y'all, my buddies. Man, let's get it on. It's fight week, baby.
We are so pumped to have you. Walk us through what this fight camp has been. Is it different than maybe some of the prior ones that you've had? Anything new or changed?
No, man. We like I said, we wanted this fight, the first fight we had. So, man, we just been locked in. Just real focused. Man, locked in, man.
Absolutely. Now, you can tell you are experienced in boxing because you're one of the best in the division. So I want to know, what are your aspirations after this fight?
What is my aspirations?
Yeah, what do you want down the line in boxing?
Honestly, I just put my best foot forward and take every opportunity that comes with me, you know? Any opportunity, I'm going to go 130%. So whatever it take me, I'm just going with it and I'm going to give it my best.
So obviously someone else in the division, Dean the Great, he said he'd be up for taking Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia. Those are big aspirations. I want to know, would Yuddy Gang step into the ring with those professional fighters?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to be the king of Misfits right now. You know, if that comes with it, you know, like I said, you know, Melms Taylor, you know, put me on to a big opportunity. So I'm gonna try the best I can at Misfits. You know what I'm saying? So if Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevens, whoever comes with that, then hey, let's do it, you know?
Let's turn it back to Misfits. You're facing Lil Cray Cray, obviously, this weekend on the 23rd. What are your thoughts on his skill level and abilities as an opponent?
I think he's a really great fighter. I think he's been putting time in, you know, and that's why this fight gonna be so good, because it's, you know, it's gonna allow me to show my skill set. You know, better fighters make me be better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, if he beat this fighter, like, who can really beat him? You know what I'm saying? So the odds gonna be really different after this fight.
Let's talk outside of Lil Cray Cray. No disrespect to him, but the bigger threats in this tournament, are there any, or is Lil Cray Cray the guy that you feel is the best person in this interim lightweight tournament?
I say Wally. He's just like Lil Cracker. He puts time in the gym. I like Waleed and the Argentina boxer. I didn't expect it at first, but I saw that he has a team behind him. And one thing about a team, if they rocking with you, you gonna come, at your best, So at first I didn't, and I'm like, okay, he has a trainer, and they making him sweat, so I say Waleed first, and then Argentina.
I want to touch on something there. You're obviously bringing up Waleed. You fought him previously. What was that experience like?
Man, it was great to share the ring, with him. He like I said, like you could tell people that actually train and people that just I go in the gym sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So what some people just got to stay on your P's and Q's, and that's what makes a great fight. Like you just never know what's going to happen because both of y'all are putting in work.
Well, the current champion of the division is obviously DEEN the Great. Now, what do you make
Right.
of DEEN and Waleed's ability? You fought both of them, so what are their abilities like for you?
It's funny how my trainer trains me. It's like we kind of do like tag team matches in the gym, like as we are sparring. We'll go like 30 minutes straight. Just come in. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to get to that point where you're tired, but you're using your skill set to get out of certain situations. And with that being said, it was just DEEN and Waleed, they're both different, but because the situation of how my trainer trains me, I can adapt to any situation type of.
Well, we've spoken about a lot of other fighters. Now I want to take a moment and speak about you. You've garnished so much fan support this time round. What does it feel to have all that support and all that crowd behind you?
Fireworks. It's like you just get a different me every time. You know what I'm saying? You get a different me every time. You get the experience who I am in that ring. You know what I'm saying? My hard work, my goofiness, you know what I'm saying? Everything. Every time I get in that ring, you just get a different me,
Yuddy Gang makes it an art form inside those ropes, which is one of the things I love about you. Any last words for the Misfits News fans and viewers?
Man, thank you to my family. Thank you to Mams Taylor. Thank you to Misfits. The Zone series, like I love y'all. I appreciate the opportunity. Hey, March 23rd. If you're going to get some popcorn and the fight started, forget the popcorn because you might miss out. I love y'all and peace.
Awesome to hear from YuddyGangTV. Glad to hear that the preparation is going well. And YuddyGang mentioned he's doing these tag team sparring matches. Maybe sounds like he's preparing for a tag team.
It was very interesting. I mean, who would you pair him up against? Last time round, we saw him in a tag team. It was against DEEN and Waleed. So how can you go to another tag team? Now, I'd be interested to see him do that.
I think we'd have to wait for the tournament to play out before we make any sort of predictions.
Well, Ben, something big that happened this week. Conor McGregor has once again called out these YouTuber nerds for a fight again. What's your take on that?
It's interesting that Conor McGregor has gone from being the money fight, delivering the red panty nights, to now kind of entertaining fights like this. I mean, again, no disrespect to the Jake Pauls, the KSIs, but McGregor was the cream of the crop in the UFC for many years. And I don't know. I mean, I think he's still got some business there. Obviously, contractually, he's still with the UFC, so there's no point even talking about it. It's not going to happen, anytime soon. But in the event that
I'm going to disagree with you there. I had to pause you there quickly before you got ahead of yourself. Obviously, Prime and the UFC have a good deal. Bams had multiple times said they have a good relationship with the UFC. So I actually don't see it not being possible.
I'd want to contest that having a brand partnership and good relationships doesn't mean that a Conor McGregor fight will happen soon. But at the same time, if the money is right, then the Notorious One can likely come out of his cave, if he's not doing another movie, of course.
Well, the last time we saw him box, he went toe-to-toe with Floyd Money Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers, if not the greatest boxer of all time. So for him to step from Floyd Mayweather to KSI, that'd be really interesting. However, we've seen Jake Paul multiple times take on MMA fighters, and it's looked bleak for them. So how would you see this fight going ahead?
Well, I would say that Jake Paul isn't really a realistic competitor for Conor McGregor, just given the weight, right?
Absolutely.
Conor started at 145. Currently fights at 155, 170. I'm sure right now he's probably in the 180-ish range. So I just don't see how Jake Paul would be a realistic option for him. Maybe Paul would cut the weight for it, but KSI makes a lot more sense to me as an opponent. And I just don't think that the kind of karate bouncing style would work against someone like McGregor. I mean, respectfully, the guy's timing is too good. And again, when you blitz in like that, all McGregor needs to do is get off the center line just a little bit and then boom, come back in with that open stance connection. So I don't know. I mean, I think KSI versus McGregor is the more realistic one. I don't think either of them is going to happen, but McGregor by TKO. Another announcement that's been made is the boxing match between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. BL, these two squared off at UFC 244 for the inaugural BMF title inside the UFC. What do you make of them transitioning to the boxing world?
Well, I find it interesting to say the least. Obviously, last time we saw Nate Diaz in the boxing ring, it was not great. It was against Jake Paul, but he made it all around. We've seen his durability multiple times, but this time he'll be going against someone of Jorge Masvidal who has fantastic boxing skills. Now, I think this is very tactician play from Jorge Masvidal. He is testing the waters with Nate Diaz, and if it goes well, I believe he will look to make that transition with either Jake Paul or KSI.
It's one of those interesting things because Masvidal's key to success, or at least one of them, was the kickboxing. I mean, he was really kick heavy in that first fight and using a lot of his elbows, the clinch work, which I just think is going to be negated inside the boxing realm. That being said, I just don't rate where Nate Diaz is at as an athlete. You know, physically, it just seems like he isn't maybe preparing for these as much anymore. And Jorge Masvidal, anytime he gets an opportunity, he usually tries to stick the landing and make a statement. So I expect some big things from, you know, Masvidal. And yeah, KSI versus Jorge, sign me up.
Well, I see KSI being obviously at the edge of that ring. If Masvidal wins, that's a perfect opportunity to, as you say, set up the storyline. KSI versus Masvidal.
Yeah, big throwback. That's what they need to do. If they don't do that, there's no storyline.
There's no storyline.
There's a story. Come on. Either way, to turn the attention back to Misfits and DAZN X Series 13, there is no better person to walk us through it than the man himself, the play-by-play, Todd Grisham.
Hey, thanks for the introduction there, Ben. I'm doing great.
Let's get right into it, man. Fox the G, the Misfits prodigy, headlining this upcoming event. What did you make of his last performance against Small Spartan J?
They say don't judge a book by its cover, the oldest thing ever, and you can never judge a boxer by his body. But you looked at Fox the G walking into the ring for that fight. I mean, soaking wet, he looked like he was 50 pounds. I thought he was just going to be like blowing in the wind, and he's a killer. I mean, to come in and erase Spartan like that was just unbelievable. It's maybe the knockout of the year, one of the best knockouts I've seen in Misfits. And it was, who would have known a guy did it in his debut?
Absolutely. I mean, he looked like a veteran. How do you see him maybe shaping up for this? It's the first outnumbered matchup. What an insane kind of stipulation for Fox to face.
Yeah, it's interesting. It reminds me of Carlito at WWE. I don't know if you remember him, the guy that would bite the apple from the Caribbean. He came into WWE and won the Intercontinental title in his first fight. He may have even beaten John Cena or something. So Fox the G comes in, pulls off that stunner. Everybody's talking about him, and they throw him right into another 2-on-1 match. You know, welcome to Misfits. Have a good day. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do, but he could not have impressed anymore in his first fight. So let's see what he has in store for us in Nashville.
And what would your suggestion be, maybe game plan wise, to the tag team of Most Wanted and Evil Hero? How can they derail the hype train of Fox?
Well, I mean, you just got to try and run him ragged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You run around the ring, you make him get tired, and then you hope in the third round you guys can beat up on him. I don't think you go right after him or anything, but they may disagree. They may say, hey, let's try and if I can't stop him, at least bang him up a little bit so that you can come in and finish the job. They can take it any way they want to, but it's crucial for me, if I'm Fox the G, is to just be patient and don't get too crazy at the beginning, because you never know how long you're going to have to go. Plus, you're going to have to outlast two other dudes. Something I know you can do, Ben.
That's easy. That's a Tuesday for me.
So, Todd, I do have to ask, obviously, it's Misfits 13 fight week now. Out of all the fights, is there any catching your eye at the moment?
Yeah, you know, I want to see what Chris Avila can do. I've called one of his fights before, and he won, but it was kind of boring. But to come into Misfits, I mean, as you know, Ben and BL, it's mayhem. So it's a whole different kind of vibe. So I want to see if he comes in there and really tries to get a fan base excited. You know, Fox the G did it in his debut. Dean the Great did it in his debut. So you come in, you do something amazing, you get everybody's heads to turn. And I think his buddy Nate Diaz will be there as well. So there'll probably be a fight out in the parking lot afterwards.
BL, any last questions for Todd Grisham here?
I'm going to give you a dramatic one. Let me set the scene, okay? Wade Clem is currently training in boxing. I'm seeing yourself in phenomenal shape. Can we expect to see you guys face off in the ring?
Look at this.
God damn!
Look at that.
Look at that.
Pythons, baby.
Wade Clem knows. Wade Clem would destroy me for the record. He is a monster. And he trains every day. I mean, he shows up in the meeting in the morning where we talk about the production meeting. That's what it's called. He shows up and he's either just come from the gym or he's going to the gym. He's got his water bottle. He's got the guns show going on. He's got his headband on. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to go spar with Jake Paul just to let him beat me up a little bit and show me. And I just sparred with some NFL player and he beat me up for the website. I'm like, man, you're crazy.
Todd Grisham, thank you so much. Misfits and DAZN X Series 13, live March 23rd from Nashville, Tennessee. Todd, we'll see you there.
All right, Ben. Good luck to you in your career. BL, you the same, man. Thanks for having me on.
Misfits 13 have finally announced their new co-main event, and it's none other than DEEN versus VITALY. Now, Ben, what do you make of this matchup?
Man, I mean, what a scrap. We have DEEN, who has been waiting for this opportunity. We've seen him scrap a little bit before, but VITALY, I mean, the guy's got experience. The guy's got some good size on him and power. So, we needed a co-main due to AT and Gabe Silva falling off the card, and no better guys than these two, I suppose.
Well, they're going to put on a show, that's for sure. I mean, the last time out that we saw VITALY, he was out there scrapping. He gives it his all. And the last time we saw DEEN was on HS Tiki stream. So, DEEN being more recent in the ring, VITALY obviously being the bigger presence in the ring. Who will win? I guess we'll find out.
Only way to find out. Misfits and DAZN X Series 13, live on DAZN March 23rd from Nashville, Tennessee. What an episode it's been. Misfits News bringing you the latest updates every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget it. With Fight Week upon us, don't forget to grab your tickets, subscribe to DAZN, and tune in to the vlog series and the extra series and all of the Fight Week content coming at you from Misfits. Thank you for joining Misfits News. We'll catch you next time.